Guys, today we're going to speak about something big. So I've brought my sister back. Some of you guys who've been on this channel, been watching for a while, will remember in our previous video we called 3 unique side hustles that work now. Pamela came down and completely dropped some amazing tips to help you guys thrive this year. Today we're back because we've got some big news actually. And Pamela sent me a message about a month ago. Said to me, you called me up saying,
I did. Check your WhatsApp.
Check your WhatsApp. And I'm like, I could hear the excitement in her voice. I'm thinking, hang on, what's going on? So I checked the WhatsApp and it was a screenshot of something which I'm going to put up on the screen for you guys to see. It was her mortgage balance which had the word nil. Nil mortgage balance. Mortgage free in how many years?
In 8 years.
Come on. So today we're going to unpack. So I said to you, do you know what? Let's come back and talk about it because people are going to be thinking, what the? So Pam is in her early 30s. Yeah. Millennials being mortgage free. Yeah. You heard it here again on this channel.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Pam's in her early 30s, lives just on the outskirts of London. So, expensive house, but, became mortgage free.
Yeah.
And we just want to unpack. I want Pam to come today and just share very candidly what 3 things, almost actionable, teachable points that you can share with our community that you can take away as you think about your goals for the new year, things you can apply if you're somebody who's working towards becoming debt-free, becoming mortgage-free, that sort of stuff. These ideas will apply. But Pam's going to share it as you're a business person, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, I was on the channel last time. The 3 key things, and I think some of your followers, had lots of questions about the offers. I talked about having in my business, so we have 3 types of offers. We have a low ticket offer. So an offer is just like a product or a program or something that you create. It's an offer. So we have a low ticket offer, which is, around about the $27 or £27 mark. And then you have a middle ticket offer, which ranges from around $97 to, say $497. And then you have a high ticket offer, which at that time, Ken, was at $6K. That's how much we were selling it for.
$6K in dollars.
$6K in dollars.
You hear Pam talking about dollars. That's because Pam's international. You're thinking big, right?
That is true.
Pam's pricing in dollars, which means she's thinking internationally.
Yeah.
And we're getting ahead of ourselves. Actually, we haven't started. Let's just introduce ourselves. I'm Ken, obviously, of the Humble Penny. Come on, you know the deal. We're going to skip the intro and jump straight in, right?
Yeah, I'm Pam Obasa from The Lucrative Lady.
Yeah, man, we're going to put all the links and stuff. You want to reach out to Pam, you can head over and check her channel out on YouTube, on the various socials, Instagram and so on. Everything will be in the links below.
Yeah.
So Pam, let's just get straight into it, right?
Okay, let's do it.
So, mortgage freedom, right? We're going to talk, by the way, through this video, we'll talk about what it means for you to be mortgage free. You're married, you're obviously my sister. Married to my brother-in-law, and you've got 2 children. Yes. Our kids go to the same school.
Yes.
Right? So we see each other all the time,
all the time.
Right? But I want you to tell these guys, before we go into your 3 main tips, what does it mean? Let's be real. We moved to this country 22 years ago, right? So we're both of the first generation moving to this country. So what does it mean to you? You haven't even told me about this.
No, we haven't talked about this.
What does it mean to you to be mortgage free?
Ken, sometimes I'm still shocked myself. Sometimes I wake my husband and we're just talking. We could be mid-conversation, talking about anything, and I would go, babe, we're mortgage free.
Yeah.
It never gets old.
Yeah.
It is just such an incredible thing. I think it's better than I thought it would. And earlier when you said that I sent you the screenshot and it said nil, honestly, I wanted it to say 0. I don't even know what I expected.
Yeah.
I expected, 0. And we paid off our mortgage on a Friday morning. We were in bed, my husband and I were talking. By the way, we had wanted to pay this off even before we bought the property. Before we bought the property, we got turned down for mortgage. It was really difficult. So finally, we got our dream home, and we made a decision that we would do it, in under 10 years. So that we set the goal. We didn't know how. At that time, my husband wasn't working. I was just acting. I was performing. So my income wasn't regular at all. But we had a dream and we had a goal.
Yeah.
So moving through. we then, I mean, we're going to talk about the steps that we took.
We're going to the strategies in a bit.
But we paid it off, and through the entire 8 years that it took us to pay off, we would literally go back and forth all the time. You know, when can we do this? And I'd be frustrated. We'd get to the end of the year. Okay, we haven't hit this goal.
And your husband, was he was more, as far as I remember, he was more the one going, come on, we've got to go for it. Should we, you know, and you guys just kept, every time I'd speak to you, you'd say,
back and forth. Definitely. And so this one morning on a Friday, we were going back and forth in the bedroom, like just laying in bed and talking about life and our goals. Should we pay it off? And I was just like, babe, let's just pay it off. And he went, but but what if we paid off and we need the money for something else? I was like, no, let's just pay it off.
Yeah.
Let's just pay it off. We've got it now. We've got it to pay off. Let's just do it. And he just went, okay, I'm gonna do it. Honestly, I didn't take him seriously. I was just like, okay, we've talked about this enough. It's not happening. He said, okay, I'm gonna do it. He lifted up his phone and he's just tapping away. I'm just like, what are you doing? He said, I'm paying off the mortgage. In my head, I thought you had to go to a meeting with the bank manager. I had all these things built up. And then he went, I've paid off the mortgage. I went, what? Stop. What do you mean you paid off the mortgage?
By the way, when you pay off your mortgage, the amount doesn't just go to zero straight away.
That's what I'm about to talk about.
You should tell these guys so that they know.
It didn't go to zero. So he said, I've paid off the mortgage. I picked up my phone and logged in. I was like, no, you haven't paid off the mortgage. Look at it. It's still there. He went, what do you mean it's still there? But I've paid it off. And then he started checking. And then he was like, have they refused?
Because they need to work out the final balance. The bank need to check that you're not going to be owing anything, like any additional interest.
See, we didn't know that. So we spent the weekend nervous, not knowing, have we not? What's going on? Why are there still numbers? Why is it zero? But it feels incredible.
So hang on. So just because a lot of guys watching might be thinking, wait, you just had the money in your bank account and the decision was, should I pay it off? Should I not pay it off? What have you? So just so people can understand, so you've been working your butt off for years, grafting, overpaying,
and saving money aside,
all those things that we teach on this channel. And so essentially you are now at the, call it your final potential year. You could have dragged that out if you wanted. But you'd been making some moves, which we're going to talk about today on this video, which meant that you'd basically built up some reserves that helped you take that leap. And so the final amount you paid off, was it a 5-figure sum? Was it a 6-figure sum?
It was a 5-figure sum.
So 5-figure sum paid off in the last year. So let's just and also, did you want to make any other points about how you felt being mortgage free?
Just that it's incredible. It's not just how I felt, it's what it's done for us now. I feel that there is just so much more joy in our home. There is just so much more joy in our marriage. There is just, I walk past my house and I'm just like, that is my house.
That's my mortgage free house.
Like, that's my mortgage free house. Like, I own that.
I say that all the time. When I get home, I'm like feeling a bit down. Like, actually, that's my mortgage free house. Anyway. Anyway, we get what we're talking about because the feeling is mutual. I have the same things when I see our home. So let's just go into details now. Let's talk tactics, right? You're a business person. We're business people, entrepreneurial. And I just want us to really just break this down really into the basics so that anyone watching can go away with some teachable moments that they can apply to their own lives as well. So what are the 3 things you would say that had I not done these 3 things, we would not be mortgage free today?
Yeah.
What are they? Let's just run through them one at a time.
So first of all, 2020 was crappy for everybody. It was a really, really tough year. And if I'm being honest, I feel that because it was specifically tough for us, well, a lot that happened. My husband was in a coma. There was just so much that was
for 6 weeks.
Against the wall emotionally. And it was, he was there for 6 weeks, but the recovery, we're still recovering, to be quite honest with you.
Tough.
So,
very tough.
It pushed me. I remember one day I was when we were off lockdown, and I was one of the many trips to the hospital to visit him after when we could finally visit. I remember driving there and just thinking to myself, do you know what, Pam? Since life is really pushing against you, do something big.
Yeah.
Like, go at it. Do something bigger.
Yeah.
What have you always done? Do it bigger. Times it by whatever. Do it bigger.
Levels.
Just go for it. Go up a level, right?
Levels,
You're being pushed against the fence as it is. Push back, but push bigger, push stronger. So the first decision I made, pretty much in middle of 2020, was to make bolder offers.
Bolder offers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Talk to us.
definitely.
What does that mean? In normal terminology, what's an offer? What's a bolder offer? Give us an idea of what
The
we're
last
talking
time I came to this channel, I talked about the importance of having low ticket offers, which I still have. But the difference between what I was doing, so last time we talked about how we did 65K in 30 days, which was mainly built up by the low ticket offers. It was, we had a lot of customers and it was great and amazing, but I decided to create a bolder offer, something more expensive. And this time it was an offer of $1,500 specifically. And it was a big push for me because when you create a $1,500 offer, $1,500 offer, £1,500 offer
per person,
per
customer,
customer. That's right. It's not the same as 37, is it?
Correct. Yeah.
It's quite different. So that means that everything has to change. Your messaging has to be bolder. Your delivery has to be bolder. The results that you give has to be bolder. Your selling mechanism, which I'm going to talk about as my number two, has to be different. So everything had to line up. So essentially, creating the bolder offer, I didn't just wake up and go, oh, now I'm going to start charging $1,500. I had to back it up.
Yeah.
What does $1,500 offer look like?
Yeah.
What problem am I solving for this person? And why should they buy it? And what is it that makes me different? Why should they buy into me as opposed to the many other people that are out there that are also offering a similar type of offer? That was where I had to really think about it.
So you not only made bolder offers. What Pam's essentially saying is the teachable moment is charge more.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you guys who are running side hustles, businesses and so on, and we teach you guys, we talk about side hustles all the time. We don't just do it just because it's a nice thing to talk about or because it's trendy, but because you can see, what I'm trying to say here is that it can become life-changing for you.
Massively.
Essentially, the moment is, what you're saying is that face your imposter syndrome, face whatever it is, charge more.
Definitely charge more, because if you think about it, if you have a low ticket offer of let's call it $37 as I had back then, you need hundreds and hundreds of customers to get one 1,500 client. And the crazy thing about it is, the more people pay, the more serious they are, the better results they get, the more you can actually serve, the more it really positions you to help somebody wholeheartedly and fully without feeling agitated, because it's just like you want so much more of me that I'm able to give you. You just get a better quality client from charging more.
So just give these guys an idea. What's somebody getting for $1,500? Just high level.
Sure.
What's the service? What's the transformation they're getting?
Well, there are various types of services that you could create at that level. But for us, we created something that is known as an intensive.
Yeah.
What is an intensive? It is intense. It's for us in our business, it's 3 days where you create 3 key things. Day one, we are working on your business model, which is foundational. Do you know that a lot of people start their businesses and they don't even have a business model? So for example, they could say, let's say they say, I want to do 50K per year, and then the business model that they have is not going to match up to 50K, come rain or shine, and they don't know that. So we tackle that on day one. And then on day two, we help them to create their bold offer.
Right.
What are you going to take out to the market? And then the messaging and the sales mechanism. So that is what we sell for that.
So the first thing you did was, you've mentioned now, you've clarified for us, you essentially created bolder offers. You mentioned something called intensives. Is this your second point? Just talk to us about what's the second key thing you did that helped you to essentially build up, the reserves you needed,
definitely
to make those moves.
So the first was bolder offers. The second is definitely changing my sales mechanism, right? My selling method, the sales vehicle. Where before it was completely automated, which is great. I loved it. That's true passive income. What I found with this bolder offer is that we had to create something else, which is where the intensives came in. I wanted to create something that would give somebody a transformation at that level. I wanted you to get results in 3 days. And so that's where it came in. But the beauty of this intensive, Ken, is that it allowed me to leverage my time.
Right. So hang on. Let's unpack this. So what you're saying is that you went from teaching one-to-one to one-to-many.
Yes, that's right.
And
definitely.
by doing that, you created leverage.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So in the intensive, sometimes we have 20 people, we have 25, 15, even 30. There's really no limit. There's really
Hang
no
on.
limit.
I hope you're doing the maths as she's saying that. So you got 1,500, you got 20 people per person, right? Do the maths as to what Pam's saying. So what's really interesting about that model, which is your second key game-changing tactic, is that you're still using the same knowledge and time, but you're applying it to more people.
Yes. Yeah. And
still at a fairly high ticket.
Definitely fairly high ticket, and even getting them better results, because there is something powerful about people gathering together.
Yes.
Right? Because iron sharpens iron. If those irons that are sharpening irons, if they have a leader who's sharpening them all, that is just like having your cake and eating it. So we see magic happen in this intensive just simply because we changed the sales mechanism.
That's powerful. So I'm just going to reiterate because I want this to really sink in. What Pam's saying is that she changed her tactic from working one-to-one to working one with many people. Yeah. Without dropping the value she was given, but actually upping the value and therefore upping the price.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. That's very clear to me, and I hope it's clear to you guys. So on the back of that, which are two very unique things you already mentioned, what's the third thing that took things to a whole new level?
Oh my God. So, a couple of years ago, a friend of mine said to me, Pam, what if you were to create an offer that scares you?
Yeah.
Back then, an offer that scared me was like 5K. I was scared of that back then.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't fathom what it means. What do you mean an offer that scares you? So when it came to, figuring out what happens after this intensive, I remembered that conversation and I thought, so Pam, what is an offer that scares you? What does it look like? And I put pen to paper and I just started to craft what is the perfect offer?
Yeah.
What is the most transformational offer? Yeah. In fact, what is the Sumo offer?
What's the Sumo offer?
That you can put out to the market that knocks down every other person who is vying for my audience's attention, but gives them the transformation that they need without any question. And so that's what I did. So I created that Sumo offer, and that is something that we then offered to our market, and it was an offer that scared me. But the crazy thing is that you've got to be bold, and you've got to be bold every step of the way. And so when I created the offer, I didn't actually know whether people would grab the offer. I didn't, because it was a scary offer. You're asking for a lot of money.
So is this 4 figures or 5 figures?
It's 5 figures.
5 figures.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh no, we're talking multiple 5 figures.
Yeah. So this is you keep up with the imagination on that.
Yeah.
Right. So 5-figure offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's call it a Sumo offer.
Yes. Whatever you think it is, just triple it.
Yeah. It's a Sumo offer. It's a big number.
Yeah.
And in case you're thinking, do people pay for Sumo offers?
Listen, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
But this is the beauty, and this is the biggest lesson that I learned from this entire process. When the sales mechanism is right, and the offer is right, and the transformation is clear, and your message is clear, and you target the right people. You see, there are different types of, there are different people in the segment of your market, right? People, But when it comes to offering your product, you've got to offer it to those people who are in pain. Let me give you an example. Let's imagine imagine you have a toothache. You know that there are people who will, for their toothache, they'll take ibuprofen, take paracetamol, take Bonjela. And there are people who would go to the dentist, right? Now, the dentist will say, Ken, you need a tooth pulled out. And Ken wouldn't flinch because he is in pain. But do you know that there are people who are just not in pain? Right? It's not hurting them enough to want to have their tooth removed. Now, in your market, you're going to have that segment who are not really in pain. And you're going to have the segment who are seriously in pain, because when the dentist says you need your tooth removed, or the doctor says you need an operation, you don't say, well, can I do it for half price? Can I come back next week?
You pay what it takes to get rid of the pain.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you make sure that your marketing is speaking to those people who are in pain, and you obviously have the solution, because you can't give a botch job for that. If you have the right solution and you're speaking to that segment of the market, your Sumo offer will fly off the shelf.
I love that. So I love that terminology already, the Sumo offer. So tell us now, so you create a Sumo offer, just so, you know, our community understand what you mean. You create a Sumo offer, which is a really high ticket offer. We're talking here, you know, a five figure number. Now that Sumo offer, obviously you're not going to have huge volume with that, right? But you have, you know, a handful of people.
But here's the beauty: you don't need huge volume.
Yes.
Do you see that to hit your revenue goal?
Yeah.
You don't need it.
So if 5 people bought it, boom, right? Yeah. You could even hit 6 figures. If
Absolutely.
that, right?
Yeah.
But now tell me, what did you do differently with this Sumo offer? Like, how did you get it to convert? What did you do differently in your process as a businesswoman to make that happen?
So I revamped my entire program. Like I threw it out of the window and I rebuilt it from scratch. It was a ton of hard work. And I made it a year-long program because I realized that it really takes a year for you to not only see results, but for you to see it consistently. So I made the decision to be that person in my market, in my industry, that was not only helping people to get their results, but I wanted to hold your hand and watch you fly at the same time. I want to help you take flight and watch you fly. And then should you land and need to perch and find some food, I'm there to catch you. So I created something that not many people were offering, and it was a big ask on my part, hence the Sumo price. You see that?
That's incredible. So the methodology, were you writing pieces of content? What sort of stuff practically could someone take away that might have helped them to maybe do that?
Oh no, it's definitely a combination of everything. Is written pieces of content, it's videos, it's tutorials, but not only that, the part of I think our program that is truly transformational is a lot of the done for you aspect. Right. So we give you a lot of templates, email copy, sales copy, everything that is required to really, we don't want you to have to think too hard. Do you see my point? We don't want to leave too many room for mistakes or failure. So we've done a lot of the work ahead of the time so that getting results is easy. And another thing, Ken, that we added to the program is that we added results through every stage of the program. Right. So the results were not left till the end of the program and then it's just
so you built the wins in. Yes. So people felt like as they're going through your process, they were getting their wins, they're getting their wins. By getting their wins, that builds momentum, builds motivation, and that carries on. So it's really interesting. Just we wanted to bring you guys something entirely different. As ever, the chat with my sister, this is really mastermind conversation. Typically, this might be the sort of stuff we teach within Financial Joy Academy for those of you who are dream makers. But, you know, we're having this chat here because I think it really helps for you guys to get fresh ideas around this idea of actually achieving your life goals, one of which is to become mortgage free. You know, both of us can sit here and confidently tell you guys that in our 30s we've become mortgage free and beyond. And beyond. So for now, like it's kind of like, I've done mortgage freedom, tick. Now it's on to other things, right? You've got other things that you're kind of chasing, you're trying to achieve. You know, but none of that would have happened. And this is why I want people to really understand, like, we know the vehicle of business has like changed our lives in so many ways. Seeing mum and dad doing their own thing, like it's built a lot of inspiration, which is why we talk about this subject here on this channel a lot. I mean, if you had to give anyone out there who's thinking right now to themselves, they might have a normal job, you know, doing a day job, but they're thinking to themselves, is it really worth my while? Getting it? I was choked there hearing you respond like that. Is it really worth my while? I know, because to you and I, it's kind of like, wait, hang on.
What are you talking about?
But I just, you know, like we have to make the assumption that there are people who are really not sure, you know? So is it really worth their while exploring, because what we're talking about here is the online business.
Yes.
We operate online specifically, right? So is it really worth their while exploring, first of all, a side hustle or a business, or even an online business? Like, what would you say to someone like that who's watching right now?
Well, you saw my reaction, first of all. I mean, that would be crazy. Is it? Of course. Oh my goodness. This has changed my life, right? And I have to tell you, we weren't born doing this. We don't have family who do this. Our parents, yes, they're in business, but they're in a totally different type of business.
Yeah, offline.
This is something that we have discovered, and the hard way. I know it's easy for us to sit here and people can look and think these results came overnight. They didn't. This is years and years of learning and grinding and failing and getting back up. But just to put some figures out there, just in case you're thinking, is it worth it? So when all of this was said and done, everything that I have shared with you, since creating this, we have done 2 different launches since then. The very first launch, after remodeling everything that I'm shared with you, amounted to $120,000, which we did in 3 days. Right? So, is it worth it?
Wait, sorry, say that again. Hang on. I know the number, like, we're talking siblings, but I just want you to tell these guys again. So you just said it was $120,000 closed, banked in 3 days. Boom. Right? So if that doesn't tell you something, in that there is a system, there's an approach to really thriving online. There's a system, there's an approach to it.
Oh yeah.
And there's a learned system. And it's something that we believe anyone can learn, actually.
Oh my goodness. I think if we can learn it, right? I'm a busy mom. I've got very young children. Ken's a busy dad. He's got very young children. We're not just sitting there with nothing to do. Believe you me, we have responsibilities. So if we can learn this, you can too. And the launch we did after that brought in even larger sums of revenue than that. So is it worth it? My goodness, I wouldn't be found doing anything else. And the crazy thing is that, I know, Ken, that you talk about your background, but this all came from the various things that we had learned before. I went to drama school. I learned, I was performing, and I brought in the storytelling and all of these things that I had learned. And I figured out, how do I turn this into, how do I monetize this? When I wasn't acting, when I first had my first son and I couldn't go back to work because the industry is different and all of those things, I had to figure out, Pam, what are the skills that you have and what are the other ways that you can use those skills? And that's how it literally started. So we were not born with this. It's not in our family. So if we can do it, I promise you that you can. But the key is what Ken has just shared. It's a system.
And he's doing. Because one thing I'd say that sets us apart in many ways is that we've not just been afraid and stayed afraid. We've actually said, you know what, there's some evidence around us. Like for example, I was going to make this point earlier. The fact that we, Mary and I have been pursuing this mortgage freedom thing and became mortgage free, in some ways it's inspired us all in our family in different ways. Other people are making their own moves. The fact that you started an online business way before even we did, you were in the online world way before we did, has meant that I've seen the evidence around me to say, oh, I've got evidence that this thing works, and so therefore I'm going to put myself out there and learn. In the same way, we teach you about joining masterminds and joining, environments where you have accountability, or you're learning from other people, and you're really sharing with the idea of all helping each other to grow. Because I find that when you see evidence of something happening, you're more likely to take that leap and make it happen.
Oh, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And this is a form of evidence for you. Now, yes, we have each other, right? We have each other and we can lean on each other and we can ask each other for advice, for sure. Now, you can have something like that too. If you don't have family or siblings who do business that you can lean on, well, get involved, get into a mastermind, get into memberships, get coaching, get support. I was creating some content today and I was just sharing, Ken, today how it took us 18 months before I made any significant amount of money in my business.
Do you hear that?
18 months.
18 months of sweat equity.
But the crazy thing is, when I look back at what I did in those 18 months, I find that in those 18 months, what I mostly did was watch free content. What I mostly did was I didn't really invest in myself. Things changed when I made the decision to put some skin in the game, and I could literally track my revenue back to those key decisions.
Skin in the game means you actually sought somebody else out and learned from them.
Learn what I didn't know. That's right. Because it's one thing to have expertise or to have skill, but oftentimes you need somebody else to to show you which parts of your skill are easier to monetize. Because it's not everything that you know that you wake up and go, oh, now I'm going to do 6 figures out of this. There are some skills that are easier to monetize than others. And sometimes you need someone to point that out, to show you what that is, and then to help you to find out, to figure out how to monetize it, what those steps are required, the steps that are required to help you to monetize those skills. So
just to mention another just as we're starting to wrap up, one other really important part of this conversation that we may just glaze over, but I think it's very important to talk about, is this idea around the money mindset.
Yes.
So a lot of people watching, you might be that person, for example, you think to yourself, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to earn myself 10K a month, or, you know, a 5-figure sum or whatever one day, or even a 6-figure income one day. I want to tell you one thing. I think for us, it took me a while to get, and it took a while with me seeing other people doing stuff like that for me to do. I remember, I don't forget, it's a good example of me meeting a friend of mine called Sarah, who's a blogger in London. I don't want to mention her name of her blog because she's a bit anonymous, but you know, seeing her and her showing me her income on her phone and saying, Ken, look, this is what's happening. For me to go, whoa, that's possible. It's possible. And with us as well, like when we talk about it,
we're very open.
We're very open. When you talk, you're like, we did the 6-figure sum in X number of days from a big launch. You know, that becomes like, in our mindset, we've kind of gone past now that 6-figure being like a, you know, where you're like scary, like a big thing, because you're just like, okay, fine, I did it. Like, how do I, what did I learn from that experience? What could I teach from what I've learned from that experience, and so on? Yeah,
definitely. And, you know, I think for us, one thing that has really helped us is we don't hold back. We're givers.
Yes.
And so that means that we are always ready to share, always transparent, I'm always giving. And Ken is always giving. And I think that really helps us, because you actually learn more by giving. Did you know that?
Yeah, powerful.
You want to figure out how to monetize your skills, just start talking about it. Just start teaching about it.
Like we're doing now.
Like we're doing now. Just start giving. What it does is, what you are doing is you are really sending a message out to the universe, and it will come back to you in so many other ways. People will seek you out. When I first started teaching, the first thing I taught was how to use storytelling to sell, because I had learned how to tell stories well. I remember I was just talking about it on social media, and somebody shared one of my live streams. I wasn't running any ads, I was literally just live streaming. Someone shared, and the headline I will never forget. They said, check out the Queen of Storytelling.
Powerful.
That was powerful. That was a monumental. I remember looking, Queen of Storytelling. What? Me? You think I'm that good? I didn't even know how good I was.
And that only happened because you shared.
That's right, because I shared willingly. That's right. One thing, Ken, that I do want to get in is that you have a very successful YouTube channel, and I don't want people to think that they have to have all these big numbers and all of that. Otherwise, they won't be able to make success. That's not true. My channel is not even 1/10 of yours. It is tiny.
And you're still killing it. You hear that?
Yeah. It is tiny. So please don't let any hang-ups or anything hold you back and think, oh, I need to have thousands of people on my email list.
And yada.
No. You don't need any of that. Trust me, that success and money, it's no respecter of persons. It doesn't care how many people you have on your channel. It doesn't care how many people are on your email list. It doesn't care the color of your skin. Doesn't care your accent. Doesn't care that you're an immigrant. Doesn't care where you're from. It doesn't care about how much money is in your bank account. What happens is what is in here and translating that. And success truly just follows what you put out there, the actions that you take. That is what success cares about. So don't worry about any of that. Just get out there and just get going.
Wow, that's been so powerful, Pam. Honestly, today has been, we could carry on talking about this forever. In fact, we're going to carry on talking about it later. And those of you guys who are dream makers, you can expect Pam within FJA, you know, in the new year at some point. But it's been fantastic speaking about this today, Pam. It's just been incredible. And I hope you guys have taken away so much value. In fact, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What light bulb moments did you have from watching today's session? Like, what went off in your head thinking, whoa, that's completely blown my mind? Let us know in the comments. If you really enjoyed today's video, hey, come on, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. Because as you know, guys, it really helps us to keep growing. And the more we grow, the more we can have more impact and reach so many more people. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Oh, and by the way, where can people reach you? Say that again. Tell them.
Hop onto my YouTube channel for sure. I'm Pam Obasa. The link will be below. Find me over there. I share a lot of other type of stuff, business-related stuff, how to grow your business online, how to create these sales systems that I keep talking about. I actually break them down on my channel. So go over there. It's a tiny channel compared to Ken's.
It's a great channel. Head over, subscribe, support.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. As ever, in all things, be thankful and seek joy.
That's right.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.